And this one is over.
It's over! It's over! It's over!
Well, they found another way. The Giants now have won 9 straight.
No cha-cha for you, Padres. Oh, baby. What a win for the Giants last night. 4-3. They win their 9th straight. They're now 13-4 in the month of June. What a mess the Padres are, as we say good morning to everybody out there. Getting after graveyard shift. If you're at work, what is happening? Good morning to all the professional dancers up there on Broadway Street. It was a 2-for-1 Tuesday. And let me tell you, at the 32,000 attended Oracle Park, I guarantee your business was booming last night. Good morning to all the dudes who contributed to the funds, to the college funds last night. Good morning to all the union workers, carpenters, janitors, plumbers, little leaguers, everybody out there. Spadoni, Lovin, Joe Shasky the Butcher. Let's bring in Tony Gwynn Jr., MLB Insider right here for Odyssey.
You never cease to amaze me.
The original podcast, Big Time Baseball with John Heyman, covering all things Major League Baseball. Let me tell you something. Tony Gwynn Jr. has been a friend of the program for a very long time. And Tony, we're big-time Giants fans. There's no secret. They're hot right now. But as a Giants fan last night, I could not go to bed without thinking how much of a mess the Padres are. I'm dumbfounded, Tony. Seriously. The walks, late inning situations, the bad base running, situational hitting. The Padres had no business losing the first 2 games of the series. And yet here we are with the Giants with a 9-game win streak. You've covered them all season. You've covered them for a long time. What the heck is going down there in San Diego?
I mean, those 3 things that you hit on have been kind of the story of the season. Not so much the late inning walks, but situational hitting, occasional bad base running. And it's culminated into a year in which it's been very underwhelming. And these last 2 days, it's usually been the offense that has struggled. As you mentioned, runners were scoring position, situation hitting. But the last 2 nights, it's been the bullpen. In the game of baseball, it's not always going to set up perfectly where you score enough runs, you got some breathing room. Yesterday and the first night here, unfortunately, the bullpen couldn't hold it down. And, right now the Giants got that late inning magic thing going again. And you could almost feel it in the building as it starts to kind of unravel. And they've been able to get the first 2 games of this series.
Well, it's an interesting, I guess, case study when you contrast the 2 organizations. Giants fans were looking at the Padres for multiple years saying, that's the team we want to be. Look, they're spending money. They're making bold trades. They're one of their guys, Machado, who they opt out. They're going to re-sign him. They're bringing in Bogarts, just all in, all in, all in. The Giants whiffed in free agency, and yet I sit here today and I feel like, maybe the Padres just that model doesn't work because they feel off. They don't feel like they're a connective unit, even though individuals are balling right now. I look at the Giants. Crawford gets pinch hit for. Everyone's buying in. There's no sulking. There's no anger. Here comes Casey Schmidt. He draws a walk. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I get where you're going. But, I think a lot of that is determined by wins and losses, right? When the Giants were pedaling there below 500, probably didn't feel the same way.
No.
But they've run off, 8, 9 straight here.
9 straight.
And, everything that Gabe does, every button he pushes is turning into gold. And there was a similar feeling here in San Diego last year. As you got towards the back end of that season and into the playoffs, it seemed like every button Bo Mel pushed, it was gold. It worked out. And so, a lot of what you see is determined by, wins and losses, how well your team is playing. Right now, when you look into that Giants dugout and you're watching the game, it's hard not to look at them and think, man, these guys are all pulling the rope in the same way. And the results, would indicate that they are. Where on the flip side, the Padres, they did a lot of things good for the first, 7 innings, 8 innings, the last 2 nights. And then it just all came unraveling at the same time. And so, as much as it may look that way, I think the Padres are pulling in the same rope. But it's about execution, man. You gotta be able to do whatever the game is requiring you to do, especially in late innings. And these last 2 nights, Padres haven't done that.
No doubt about that. We're talking to Tony Gwynn, Jr., of course, Padres radio broadcaster, host of the Odyssey original podcast, Big Time Baseball with John Heyman. He's been covering the Padres for a long, long time down there in San Diego. Let's shift to the Giants here. They brought us some young studs here, Casey Schmidt, Patrick Bailey, Luis Matos. They were very important. They had big-time roles in that bottom of the 9th inning against Josh Hader and Martinez. What has your impressions been of the youngsters, Matos, Schmidt, and Bailey?
Well, I know Casey. He went to San Diego State, which is my alumni. So I've known him since he was a freshman there. And man, I'm proud to watch him, come up here and have some success, put together a great at-bat in the ninth. When I look at the young guys that have come up for San Francisco, it's been a long time since the Giants have been able to dip into their minor league system, and it's not somebody who's 29, 31.
Yep.
And so, the young talent is starting to come up. And you look on most teams that have success, it's a good mix of veterans and young guys. And for the group that they brought up, they've all been productive. They've all been ready for that moment. And I think that's a large part of why the Giants have gone on this run, right? They've been infused with this young talent. And these guys are go-getters. They want to be here. They know they belong. And on the veteran side, it's credit to them for making it a welcoming place. It's not always like that for young guys who come up, but you get the sense, listening to Gabe talk before the last 2 games, that this is a locker room that has welcomed these young dudes with open arms, and all that does is lay the groundwork for those guys to go out and feel comfortable and just be them. And you've gotten a lot of results out of the young guys because of that.
Tony, as somebody who's been around the game for so long, I'm curious your opinion on just the overall state of pitching in baseball. The Giants are a great example. They've got one dude who can go 5 every time, 7 a lot of times in Logan Webb, and then it's a lot of duct tape, and you're seeing the opener and you're seeing the bullpen get stretched out a lot. Is this era of guys coming up in tournament baseball, in travel baseball, are they more accustomed to kind of the way these bullpens are being used at the big league level now as openers? 2 innings here, 4 innings from that guy, 2 innings here. Like, are we kind of sleeping on all of these guys coming up that way, as now it may not be the model for all 5 slots of a rotation, but it's going to be more prevalent than we want to admit?
I think it just depends. When you don't have pitching depth per se, starting pitching depth, you have to kind of rely on, this kind of format for your staff. And I think when you look at the Giants, they're a little banged up on the starting rotation. And so when you don't have depth, you got to find ways to, still be productive as a ball club and give yourself a chance to win. Now, they've been able to do that. The young kid Walker, who started the first night, he's going to start tonight as an opener. You have to kind of set that up throughout your minor league system if you have a need to do that. Mm-hmm. And the Giants, they're as forefront thinking as you're going to, as an organization, as you're going to find in Major League Baseball. So I don't necessarily think that tournament ball is having an impact on that. I just think you look at your roster, not only at the big league level, but up and down your minor league system, and you have to make a determination. Do we have enough depth? If 2 people go down, if 1 person goes down, do we have guys that can come in and fill that spot by themselves? Or are we going to have to do it by committee? They've had to do it by committee. They've had success doing it. Can they do that the whole year and have success? I don't know. I think that remains to be seen, but right now, you ride the wave, and that's certainly what the Giants are doing.
Yeah, no, we're definitely riding it, too. We're talking to Tony Gwynn, Jr., longtime radio broadcaster for the San Diego Padres, MLB insider, and host of the Odyssey original podcast, Big Time Baseball, with our buddy John Heyman, covering all things Major League Baseball. And considering what a deadline is this year, August 1st, There's a lot of teams still in it. It's probably a little too
Yeah.
early to talk trades, but I wonder with so many teams now positioning themselves. We're seeing the Cincinnati Reds winning 10 in a row. They're now in first place. Diamondbacks have come out of nowhere. They're red hot even though they lost last night. You know the Dodgers are going to be itching to do something at the deadline with the way their bullpen has performed in the month of June. How active do you think some of these teams will be in the National League, including your San Diego Padres, who are in a win-now mode, Tony?
Yeah, no, I think this year's deadline is going to be fascinating from the standpoint that I don't see there being as many sellers as there are buyers. As you just mentioned, there's so many teams. I think even by August, will still be in it.
Yeah.
That there's going to be a almost inflation for the players that are available because there's not going to be as many available. I think most of the guys have, it seems like that would be up, have either signed long term or aren't going to be made available, right? You think Ohtani, that Angel team is going to be in it.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
Yep.
So I think the pool of players is going to be a lot smaller. I don't think it's going to be as deep. And so what that means is the price hike for these said individuals is going to be through the roof. And so do you have the young players to be able to give up to get some of these guys? Are you willing to pay that tax on certain guys? And I think all those teams you mentioned will be in it, but I just don't know that there's going to be the availability of the specific players, especially bullpen. I think that's where everybody's going to be looking, is to add at the bullpen. And I just don't see that many guys out there available.
Yeah, I don't either. Last night, I don't know if you were paying attention, but like Juan Soto took forever to run out onto the field in the ninth inning. I don't know. There are people theorizing he was using the restroom and kind of delaying the game, if you will. I find him to be very interesting. Everyone on that team has gotten paid, it feels like, on the Padres. And he's sitting here. He's got like a year or so left of his current deal before he becomes an unrestricted free agent. He turned down 15 years, over $440 million, reportedly, from Washington. What are they going to do with him?
It's a good question. I think ultimately Juan has chosen to go this route. I mean, it's not that unusual, right? A lot of Boris guys, they play it out. They go to free agency. That is the plan. So I don't necessarily think he looks at it as a guy, I haven't gotten paid yet or anything like that. But I do think he wants to maximize that opportunity. Now, that being said, if the right deal comes along and the Padres feel like they can extend him, at this point, it's hard to deny that they won't do what they can to extend them. I mean, they've done it with everybody else. Even in chances I thought there was no chance in the world, they have found a way to do it. So I won't put it past them, but I think this has been by choice. This has been by design for Juan to get to free agency, to maximize his value. Doesn't mean he's not open to it, but I think this is the route he has chosen on purpose.
Yeah, Tony, he's really turned it up here, and Fernando Tatis Jr. has turned it up since he's been back. I mean, the guy's a stud. He's a five-tool player. He's playing a hell of a right field, but we don't know what that clubhouse is like. You're around the team every day, and you hear little whispers, the team's not feeling this energy. Tatis Jr., that is. He's not really a likable guy. Who is Fernando Tatis Jr.? Has he bounced back from being suspended? Has he won that clubhouse back with this performance on the field? And are they feeling him again? Because I know he let a lot of people down there in San Diego with the PED suspension.
There's no doubt he did. And, I think he understood that this is, even as we sit here today, it's a long process. It's not just, you come back and you get love. But I think, when he had the team meeting with the ball club one-on-one last year with his teammates, I think they kind of laid it out there. And I give him a ton of credit. He came into spring training just with a different mindset than I think he had before. He's been super accommodating to those. He's been a lot more welcoming. And I just think he gets it. I think he understands the mistake he made. And I think in terms of his teammates, where would the Padres be without him?
I know.
I mean,
6 games worse.
He has been so good. He has gotten so good at right field so fast. And now all of a sudden he's starting to get comfortable at the plate. Mm-hmm. So you're reminded of how talented that this kid is. And to his credit, I think he recognizes the mistake. He has come back with a kind of a humble spirit about it. And, it's been weird going to different cities. We've been to New York. We've been here in San Francisco. These are tough places to come in and play as a visitor, especially with what he has hanging over his head.
Mm-hmm.
It has seemed like it has been pretty, dull compared to what we've seen in the past for a guy in this situation. I think that's based on how he handles fans and opposition. And, that's to his credit.
Early in the year, he's dancing to the people that are giving him chants and stuff. And I thought playing into that was actually a smart thing. You know what I mean? To let it know that it's not getting phased and he's not being phased. It's funny. I coach all these Little League kids. Their favorite player, even with all the stuff that happened, is Fernando Tatis Jr. I know the video game plays a big part of that. His personality, his style of play. But he's exciting and fun, I think, at his core. And I think a lot of people are willing to give him a pass because he smiles. Just literally, that's it.
That's a great observation because, for most guys in this situations, they don't have the type of personality that Fernando has. This dude, he enjoys baseball, and as you said, he's constantly smiling on the field. Yep. And there's something about that I think disarms people, and doesn't necessarily mean they forget about what he's done, but they are willing to give him a pass on it. And it's a credit to him. When joy comes through you the way it does when he's on the field, it's kind of hard to stay mad at the guy.
I totally agree.
That's just the observation I have.
He's got a David Ortiz like kind of quality in that I can't hate him. I just can't as much as I want to.
He's just a baller.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's just a baller, right?
But he has fun.
Yeah, no, he does have
and
fun.
I love it.
No, he's legit. Tony, I got to ask you this, man. I'm looking at your Twitter bio, and we've had John before. I didn't realize you were a Laker fan.
Die hard.
Oh, my God. You want Draymond Green on your team?
I certainly wouldn't turn my man Draymond down. He'd be a perfect fit in Los Angeles.
Oh, my God.
$30 million, you got him.
My God.
I'm kidding. Hey, Tony, man, always good talking to you, man. Keep up the good work with the podcast. Are you in town right now? I know you're on the radio broadcast. Are you in town right now?
Yeah, I'm in town.
All right.
Got a chance to enjoy the city the last 2 days.
Nice.
All right, there you go.
Cool.
We got to come by and say hi.
Go get a burrito. Go to La Taqueria out in the Mission. Go get yourself a nice burrito. I like the carne asada.
Where the burrito? Boy, hold on. He's in San Diego, and I know it's the home of the torta. The tortas are really good in San Diego. Well, you prefer? You probably can't go to San Diego.
You can't go to House of Prime Rib. They got night games and stuff. So I'm trying to, maybe he can go get himself a Guerra sandwich on 15th and Terraville.
Yeah.
Go see my boy Caliber. Go get himself a burger. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here, bud.
Hey, listen, I appreciate all the suggestions because your boy loves to eat. So I'm gonna figure it out.
I'm feeling
no doubt.
Hey, best thing the Padres ever did was switch to these
Going
retro
back to
new
Brown.
unis.
Yeah,
They're
no
so
doubt.
sick.
Hey, Tony,
on the real, it is such a good look.
No doubt it is. Those uniforms
I
pop,
love
Tony.
them. And the yellow pops.
The yellow does pop. Listen, my dad was not a big fan of the brown and orange that they had, but the way they have kind of made this more, modern. This brown and yellow more modern. I think their pinstripe road uniforms are like some of the best in the league.
They're hard.
I enjoy these uniforms myself.
No, they're really good. And we enjoy your insight on baseball,
Good stuff,
Tony.
man.
Good stuff, man. Check out his
Thanks
original podcast, Big Time Baseball, an Odyssey original, of course, with John Heyman covering all things Major League Baseball. Tony, if we don't see you this homestand, we'll definitely see you in September. Weird schedules. Last time we'll see each other for a long time here, but Padres got work to do here. Thanks for the time today, Tony.
No problem. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Anytime. Tony Gwynn Jr., MLB Insider here at Odyssey, the original podcast, Big Time Baseball with John Heyman.